Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to part 2 of the lockdown yoga montage. Roll out your yoga mats and we'll get going in a moment. And I thought I'd start today's class with a little tip, something that you might like to do. It's heading outside and drinking a cup of tea in meditation. I've been doing it all throughout lockdown and it's become habit. It's become second nature. Do it every day. So what you'll need, apart from your tea, is a yoga mat, and because this is Scotland, you'll need a blanket, even in spring and summer. And get comfortable. Comfortable seated position. Cheers. Enjoy the fresh air and the sounds of nature around you. So I hope that tip is something that you can maybe bring into your spring. And for just now, enjoy the next hour of yoga, and I'll have a quick chat to you again at the end. Enjoy. On your next in-breath, allow your arms to drift up above your head and then bring the arms out to the side and back again. Once more, just a stretch and back again. Lovely. And this time, we're going to include a deep inhale, and notice that you're exhaling now. Because the next time we come up, we're going to pulse out the exhale. It's really simple. Breathing in, exhaling in little pulses. And again, breathing in, deep into the base of the lungs, exhale in pulses. 2 more, breathing in. One more. Wonderful. Let's come into cat pose. That's a modification on Kapalabhati, known as a kriya, often referred to as a pranayama. Can be very energizing. Hope that was a nice start as you come into cat pose. Now I'd like you to keep your feet on the ground if you've got any lower back issues today, but come with me if everything feels okay. As you inhale and drift one foot, any foot up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, you're bending at your elbows and you're dropping your nose down, keeping that leg high, maybe even elevating it ever so slightly, coming all the way back. And we can repeat that 2 or 3 times, depending on what pace you're doing. Inhaling, looking up first, exhaling, dipping down. Bringing the knees together. Wonderful. Breathing in, looking up, exhaling. And move to the other side. Remember, keep the knees on the ground if you would rather. So follow me maybe this time. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, bend at the elbows. Inhale, coming back up. Exhale, bring the knee back to meet its partner. Inhaling, looking forward and up. Exhaling, dipping down, strong upper body. Inhaling, coming back up, keeping the foot raised if you wish, and then drawing the knee together. One more time. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Wonderful. And have a little dip back. Let your hips sort of wiggle from side to side so you can really work nicely into softening your back. Okay, if you need to push out into your wrists, that's okay. We're now going to come into dog pose, and you have a choice here. You can either walk your dog, roll onto the front of your toes if it's a cold day, but if you want to come with me, we can come into kicking mule. We do this with the children and youngsters all the time. So we can kick up we can fold at the knees and kick the bottom. And you can take this as wild or as gentle as you need to. And some of you may want to try scissoring, so moving up and keeping the knees nice, the legs kind of slightly apart almost. And maybe you want to move on your least favourite leg. Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Or maybe you just want to go for it. Kicking mule, kicking high, and settling back down. Excellent, well done. Roll out into those wrists. Okay, come with me, this one's fun. So hands and knees, wrists are below the shoulders, knees are below the hips, and you're going to bring your knee, any knee, out to the side. So here we are in this rather interesting cat position, and what we might want to do is just move it back in. Move it back up on an in-breath, back on an out-breath. And a couple more times. And then, next time you come up with your knee, take your opposite hand nice and wide so that you can then extend the top arm. And because you've got the arm behind you, you can work into your balance a bit better. Now, only come with me if you want to do advanced stuff. Lower back people, please take care as you extend that top leg back, moving into the heel. How can you not feel energized here? And a nice stretch. Stretching's good to energize us as well. Changes things, doesn't it? A stretch always changes how we feel. Drop the back toe down and take the arm over the head. If you want to, you can rotate the chest slightly. Watch the lower back. Watch it doesn't pinch. Otherwise, keep looking forward. This is wonderful. Okay, so we're invoking change. That's what this is all about. Invoking change, not for me, but for you. This is your practice. And we're going to the other side. So take the other side into the equation now and lift your knee up to hip height, okay? Doesn't really matter if the hips tilt a little, that's okay. And again, bringing it back in. This time moving the knee up on an inhale and then back on an exhale. And repeat. Keep the tummy engaged, shoulders nice and soft. Next time you lift the knee up, take the opposite hand nice and wide so you've got plenty of scope in your foundations to balance into. And up you go with your top arm, loving it, and then only if the lower back wants to, you can push out and straighten the leg, maybe move into the heel a little. And then stretching by dropping the back toe and allowing the top arm to drift over. If it feels okay in the lower back, it might pinch a little, so roll back if it does. Turn the chest towards the sky. This is fantastic. Dip back down and have another soften into your lower back. Okay, so come with me into downward dog momentarily. And bendy knees as you walk the hands and feet towards each other. Take a breath in. Bring the palms together and then bring the elbows out to shoulder height. And rotate in one direction and go all the way around in the other. Just like a weather game. Bringing the feet a little wider to accommodate this lovely swing in the upper body. And then take yourself back to the front of the mat, lifting the arms up, lifting back down again. So come with me on a forward bend. Deepen your knees in your forward bend always. So bring the arms up on an inhale, exhaling and lowering down. And we're going to step back into downward facing dog. We're then going to come forward with the shoulders so they're directly over the wrists. Engage the tummy, lower the bottom. Here you are in plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Tuck those elbows, almost rotate those elbows in towards your rib cage as you gently lower down, and drop your elbows if you're doing a soft back bend. But otherwise, you can move up with slightly straighter elbows into cobra and allow the collarbones to be wide. Lovely. Back into downward dog and then take your right foot forward. So here we are in a nice deep lunge. taking your arms and drifting them up. And come with me only if you wish. Tuck the toes under, lift the back knee, and bring the elbows out to the side again. Wonderful. Inhaling, keep the knee off the ground if you wish, and allow the chest to open and lovely length down the front of the body as you gently fold over that right knee, dropping down and flattening the foot. So we're going to go to turn towards your right leg. So place the left hand down on the mat and turn a little in the tummy. So it's emanating from the tummy, you're rotating the tummy towards your thigh. Take your top hand to your hip. Wonderful. And only if you want to come with me, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Only if you want to come with me, elevate the hand and straighten the arm. And look to the sky or look behind your shoulder. Subtly. Coming all the way back down. Wonderful. Well done. Now can you come with me on this next little journey? Let's drop the back knee, flatten the back foot. Okay, this is one where we do need to engage our tummies to protect our lower backs. It might be worth avoiding this one or modifying it, and I'll show you the modifications. Tuck the back toe under. No, in fact, come with me. Lift up a little. Take the hands out to elbow height again. And face the forearms down towards the ground and the forehead as well. Tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee. Can you, only if you wish, straighten those arms ahead. So great length between your back heel and your forward fingertips. Lengthening, tummy engaged. Gently lower back down with your hands. Well done. And step back into downward dog. Stepping forward with your left foot now and dropping the back knee. Flattening the foot. Inhaling, drifting the arms up. Exhaling, bringing the elbows out to the side, sinking into the hips. Well done. Can we tuck the back toe under? Can we lift the knee? Can we just tilt the wrists towards the sky a little? Pressing into that forward toe. And back down again. Drop the knee and place your right hand next to your, or just near your left foot, and then start to rotate. So this hand is just placed casually on the hip, but the strength is emanating from your tummy as you rotate towards the thigh and open the heart, lifting that shoulder back a little. And only if you wish, you can do the two modifications, which is tucking the toe under, lifting the knee, and then perhaps gliding the arm up, or gliding the arm up and keeping the knee down. Well done. And gently lowering down. We're going to step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to walk our hands and feet towards each other. So we're in a soft kneed forward bend. We inhale, we come up. Exhale, come back into your forward bend with lovely deep knees. Exhaling, inhaling, coming up, arms wide. Palms together, bent knees as you fold back down. Inhaling, arms nice and wide. Take the elbows out one more time. And a gentle rotation, slightly wider legs to either side. Well done. One more deep breath, one more forward bend. Step back into plank pose, gently lower down. Drop your elbows if you're doing a gentler back bend, otherwise it's cobra pose. And then we fold to conclude. And scooping ourselves up and coming into a comfortable crossed-legged position. I want you to rub your hands, and maybe we can rub our feet. have a look down and see which leg is in front and swap them over and rub the other feet. Good evening everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to yoga. I hope you've had a chance to clap for the carers. We've got the tootaroos going off again tonight. You might be able to hear them. So welcome to yoga, and I hope you're enjoying this lovely day and the beautiful light that we're getting streaming in through my windows. It's almost blinding. Now, I have lit a candle because tonight's theme is all about peace. So I thought the candle might be quite symbolic of that. Grab a seat, James. They're still clapping. Grab a seat. Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to yoga. I'd like to introduce you to my son, James. Are you going to say hi?
Hi.
So tonight's class is for everybody. It's a family session, and that means it's for people of all ages. So thank you for joining us this evening. And I'd like to also thank James for the beautiful mural behind us. You did a great job there, James. You should be really proud. So without further ado, I would like you to stretch out your legs. And we're going to start by doing some rollies. Will we turn around the other way? Yeah? So we're going to start by doing some rollies. So you're going to tuck your knees up towards your chest. You're going to bring your arms out to the side. So James, if you bob down, and then if you move your bottom down a little bit, bring your arms out to the side, and then we won't crash into each other. So you've got your knees tucked up, and if this is too strong, please keep your feet on the ground. And you're going to paint a lovely rainbow with your knees as you drift over to one side and then the other. So follow the line of James's rainbow as you go from right to left. And you might even want to slightly speed it up, but if you are taking it easy this evening, then nice, gentle arcs from side to side. You can go down a little bit further, James. Thank you. So nice big rainbow. And imagine that you're painting a rainbow with your knees. So the spectrum of colours are like brush strokes as you drift from side to side. And you're painting red, yellow, green and blue from side to side. So let's bring our knees back to the centre. Now, I said that this was for all ages tonight, but you're going to find your inner child. So you're going to go into the happy baby pose. This is for all ages. You can hold on to the back of the knees, but you might want to reach your toes just like a baby, bringing the knees down towards the armpits and rocking from side to side. Plunk.
Everyone's going plunk.
Everyone's going plunk. I can hear them from here. And I can even hear some baby gurgling sounds as well. Or maybe that's their tummies rumbling after their big tea tonight. Who knows? Rocking from side to side in your happy baby. Well done. So everybody should be feeling this in the hips now.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how silly you look because you're in your own home. And I wonder if the dogs are joining in on this. Maybe the dogs are. Maybe we can do the dog pose now. Tickle my tummy pose. So we're tucking our hands in behind our knees. And we can spin round for this bit, James, because I'd like you to go for a nice roly-poly, forwards and backwards. So rolling on your spine, maybe taking your knees behind your head if it feels okay, maybe coming up into an early shoulder stand for the young ones. James is having a go. Good. And when you next come up, I'd like you to glue your feet together. We'll bob back here, James. Glue your feet together, grabbing hold of the feet and a nice little butterfly wing motion with your knees, springy knees. Now, anyone can do this. You don't have to have a partner next to you. We can take our hands down beside our hips, keeping our feet glued together. If that's uncomfortable for anybody, crossing your legs. I hope that all ages are taking part tonight. Maybe some grandmas and granddaughter are taking part as well. So nice and easy cross legs if you fancy something easier. Now, this time we're going to rock from side to side, but we're going to lift our hips off the ground and we're going to keep our feet glued together if we can. So nice high hips. And if you're practicing with your family tonight, you might coordinate it so that you get to give each other a high five. Hey. Beautiful coordination. Keep going. One more. One more for luck. Yay! Well done. Stretch your legs out ahead of you. And let's come up to standing. Adults, watch your lower backs. The same health and safety rules apply, even though you've got the kids egging you on. We're going to stand with our feet nice and wide apart. James, you can do the same, but if you whirl round so that you've got your back to back to whoever you are with, and you've got your hands onto your hips. Now remember, adults, bend your knees. We're unfortunately not quite as flexible as the kids, but we're going to bend our knees and we're going to send our arms down towards the ground like a rag doll. And then we're going to have a look at each other and we're going to go, hiya!
Hi.
I see you, you look funny. You've got a bright red face, but it is a hot day, and you might even want to get close to each other and stretch through, holding hands, being very gentle as you gently rock forwards and backwards. Adults, keep your knees bent, for goodness sake. We don't want to put our back out, do we? We are meant to be having fun, after all. Well done. So we can let go and slowly, keeping the knees bent, coming back to standing, coming forward. So this is a nice stretch for your legs. I'd like you to bend into your knees and you're going to lift up with your right arm, and yes, that's our left arm, but we're mirror imaging for everybody. So we lift with our, you're lifting with your right arm. In fact, if you look at the screen, it looks like our right arm that's lifting, isn't it? And then we're going to send it down the inside of the right leg, and you're going to hook either onto the ankle, the shin, or the toe. And then you're going to see if we can drop this opposite knee. See if you can maybe just stretch out, engage the tummy. So we're trying to keep the chest nice and high rather than rounding the spine if we can. And then back to the other side. So this time, lifting your left arm up, down, grabbing onto your toe, dropping the other knee, just let it flop. Up you go and push gently into the heel. You should feel that in the hamstrings. Anybody want to come with me on the full thing? You can hover your heels off the ground. Maybe that's all you're going to do, grandmas and grandos. But if you can, James is a step ahead of me. We're lifting up once and we're using our tummy muscles to control us as we lift up twice. My goodness, it's early for this, isn't it? It's a hot evening. And if you're rolling back, make sure you don't crash into anything flammable like us. So make sure that you've got a little bit of a runway behind you to roll back, keep the knees bent and roll back up again. So that was wonderful. Let's come into downward dog, folks. So starting in your cat pose, you're going to tuck your toes under and you're going to lift your hips high. And this is for all the pets out there. The downward dog, of course, is a really nice one. We're going to walk our dogs. Push into the heels. Allow the neck to be long and draw the tummy in and lift the tailbone. Imagine that you've got a Jack Russell's tail. Yes, I was thinking that. Now then, folks, take it easy because it is a warm evening. It's maybe not a warm, well, it would be warm in Calgary at this time of year. Drop your knees down, roll your shoulders out, lifting up and then landing like a lucky cat. Apparently cats, no matter how high they always fall on 4 legs. So down we go, landing like a lucky cat. This time you might want to become the naughty dog. So we're going to lift a leg if we're up for it. Adults, if you're doing this, definitely keep the knee bent so that you can help protect your lower back. So you can come with me as we lift our hips up. And then, balancing on one leg, it doesn't really matter which one. We elevate one sole of the foot towards the sky. Maybe we want to turn that hip out ever so slightly and point the toe away. So it's more of a graceful dog. And then all the way back down. Do we need a wee rest?
I did the wrong one.
It doesn't matter. It's absolutely fine. You can do any leg. Maybe jump onto your favourite leg. And you won't even know what your favourite leg is until you automatically do it. So up we go. And go over onto your least favourite leg now. Sole of the foot lifting up. Wonderful. And opening the hip. Maybe even trying to kick your bottom ever so slightly.
I can't reach it.
You can't reach, neither can I. My legs are too short.
Like the flexible people will be able to.
The flexible people will be able to, and of course James is mentioning flexibility. You don't have to be flexible to do yoga, you improve your flexibility by doing yoga. Okay, so we're now going to do the crazy dog. We've done it before. We didn't call it the crazy dog though. And some of you may be happier doing the tiger pose. Tiger pose is this one. Excuse me, James, I'm just going to cut across you very, very slightly. Tiger pose is this. Breathing in, looking up, looking out the window at the beautiful sky this evening, and taking the knee all the way down, and the forehead is heading towards the knee. So I'd like you to do 3 on one side and then 3 on the other side. But if you fancy coming with me on the crazy dog, I'm going to quickly explain it. We come into dog and then we're going to take our right leg, let's bend into our right leg, and we're going to shoot it underneath our body, pivot on our balancing leg, point the toe, opening up, so you're balancing on one foot and one arm, and then pivot, 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 and back to the start. How did you get on with that, folks?
Okay.
Did you get on okay, James? You've never done this before. So we're lifting up one leg. You don't have to lift up the leg. And then you're threading it through, pivoting on the toe and pointing that foot forward. So you're sending that foot forward. Oh, that's a good idea. You could just casually lean it on your knee. So it's a little bit sore in the wrists. So start to pivot, head back to the ground, dropping down and heading into something like a folded mouse pose, child's pose. Because it's such a hot evening, stack your hands and keep your head above the ground and fold nicely into your lower back. Feeling nice and warm. I think we'll do one more set of crazy dogs. And as we come into all this beautiful weather, this is a great one to do in the garden. You know, just before you put the kettle on, do a few crazy dogs. Yeah? That's it. Little and often, little bursts of yoga in the garden at this time of year is ideal. So come with me again. Those of you who are doing gentle stuff this evening, you're maybe moving into your tiger pose for maybe another round of 3 on each side. Tucking your toes under, lifting your hips. And we'll go to move the right leg. So draw the right knee in. I think that may be easier. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Pivot on the left foot, the ball of the foot, as you spin round and point the toe away, lifting up the top arm. Wonderful. Can you lift the leg a bit higher? A bit higher again. Good. And then back to centre. And then draw the left knee towards your chest. Start pivoting on the other foot. The right foot is pivoting. And then again, you might want to poke your partner under the arm, see if you can tickle them, see if you can put them off. And then, sorry James, coming all the way back and gently folding. Wonderful.
That's tough.
It is tough, isn't it? And that's coming from a mountain biker. Goodness me. I'm sure Finn and Freya will cope with this, won't they? They're nice and strong. Okay, folks, let's come up to standing. Not a lot of standing work tonight. It's far too hot an evening. Yeah, and listen, folks, take a drink as well. I know we're only here for an hour, but make sure that we don't puddle ourselves too much. Okay, so I want you to imagine, talking of glasses of water, I want you to imagine that you've got a glass of water in your hand and you're a waiter that's really determined to show off to all your customers, assuming that lockdown's lifted and we've got people sitting in cafes again. So what we're doing is you've got your glass of water or your cup of tea and you're going to turn that cup of tea towards you. So you're turning the hand towards you and you're seeing if you can keep the hand flat as you spin around all the way up to the ceiling. You can't see my hand because I'm standing too close to the screen. And back again. So we're going all the way back again. So it doesn't really matter.
I don't know what it is.
I think I did something wrong. I think I taught it wrong actually. Let me just have another think about this. Yeah. Okay, it was mine.
I did too much spins and then I ended up like that.
Too many spins. It's not like you to do too many spins, James. Spinning all the time. So let's take our glass of water again and bring it towards us. And then you need to move your body to keep that glass nice and flat as you bring the palm above the head. And then we're going roughly back the way we came. We're spinning round, bringing the arm back. You got it this time. And back to the centre. I wish I could see them do this. We're going to go to the other side. So left hand now, you're really showing off now. You're taking this flat hand, you're keeping it nice and flat. You're not spilling a drop as you go up above your head. And then come all the way back the way you came, spinning around. You need to use your brain as well. Let's go again. So you move your body to accommodate this lovely swirl skyways. And coming back. Anyone spilt their tea yet?
We should try it with like outside.
We should try it with the real glasses, shouldn't we? But we haven't.
The plastic ones.
The plastic ones, yes. But we haven't rehearsed it. We'll rehearse it for the next time. Take both hands out. See if you can do it with both hands. Okay. So you're bringing the arms out. Shoulders are soft, elbows bent. And you're bringing those glasses towards each other. And then you're going all the way up. No, I think I ruined my drinks.
Yeah, no failed.
That was a fail. And then coming all the way back. Tell you what, I'll just take them for you, will I?
Yeah.
Isn't it nice? They're still going. So welcome to yoga. And let's, in amidst all the fanfare, let's take a seat in our quiet spot. Hopefully your yoga spot has become quite familiar to you now, because what's this, 8 weeks we've been at this? So, Welcome to yoga, and a special thanks to tonight's artist. I won't name her for fear of embarrassing her, but I got a lovely note through the door the other day, and I hope you can read it. It says Namaste at home, which is the message that we have been told to abide by for at least another week. So thank you kindly to the special artist for tonight's art. So take your legs out to the side from a seated position. If it's easier, stick a cushion or even a book under your hips to just give you some elevation. And we're going to fold in your right leg, the heel in towards the hip, resting your right hand down, turning out your left hand and going for a lovely long stretch. So this is where the flexibility comes in on the left side of your body as you gently lean over. You can even look up to the sky. We're going to go in a moment to the other side with a little reminder about the breath. Try if you can not to hold your breath, as tempting as it is. Folding in your left leg now, placing your hand down, turning out the other palm, breathing and lifting and lengthening with the hips nicely grounded. Have a little look up and bend into the elbow if you wish. And all the way back down. So we're going to repeat that, but this time we're going to introduce a lift, and this is where the strength comes in. Now you don't have to do this, you can simply repeat what we've just done. So we're going to fold in our right leg again, and this time, balancing on our right hand, we're going to take the opposite hand and bring it forward and lift the hips off the ground, pressing into the opposite heel, and up and over you go, taking great care and lengthening one side, strengthening the other. And we'll go to the other side. So it's a nice expression, this, as you fold into the opposite leg. Use this hand for strength and to lift, and make it a nice swooping gesture as you lift and lengthen. Breathing as you just gently ease into this pose, and bringing the arm all the way back down. Really well done. Stretching out the legs ahead of you and then folding them round, and we're going to come up and do a few standing poses. So I'd like you on your mat to take your feet quite wide. We're working on side stretches in this little video. So I'd like you to start by turning out your right foot. Imagine that you're on a beam and allow your arms to drift up to shoulder height. And then just with a little lengthening towards your right, we're going to soften into that knee ever so slightly, take the top hand to the hip and roll this shoulder back. And again, this is us working on strength on one side, flexibility on the other. You might even want to lift this top arm. This is known as Trikonasana pose. Breathing, softening the shoulders, engaging the tummy. Take a deep breath as you then bend into this forward knee, and you might need to widen your stance and keep the knee above the ankle. If the knee isn't comfortable, keep that leg straight. And this is gently dropping this right elbow down. And again, you can keep the hand here on the hip, or if you wish, allow the arm to drift up. Again, strong on one side, building flexibility on the other. Wonderful. So to come out, you start to straighten that forward leg and point the toes in front. So it's a statement of the obvious, but the yoga teacher will always get you to do both sides. So we're going to work on our left side now, turning your left foot out. And again, arms up to shoulder height, gliding a little, and then gently folding, tilting the scales. Top hand can be nicely placed on the hip. Roll that shoulder back, soften into that forward knee. So make it easy for yourself rather than difficult. Think ease rather than effort. And if you wish, you can allow the top arm to drift up. And we're going to transition into the stronger version of this side stretch with the hips sinking and this knee directly above the ankle. Drop the elbow down and again roll that shoulder nicely back. Keep the hand here if you need to, or elevate. So a nice strong center and everything softening and lengthening from that wonderful space. Take a deep breath in and slowly come up and turn the toes towards me, and then jump the feet together. So you're working on your pelvis and your hips. You're working on your shoulders. These are massive parts of our anatomy that have got loads of muscles, and they really enjoy getting the space and freedom. Come with me as you take your feet nice and wide and turn your whole body towards your right. And this time, instead of being on a beam, you're on rail tracks. You're on little narrow gauge railway tracks. And you're going to take the arms up and then open the chest, bending at the elbows. From here, we're going to tuck the elbows in towards us. We're going to start bending into that forward leg and gently lowering down towards the ground, dropping into the back knee and lifting the arms up if it feels okay, and gently lowering back down again, tucking the back foot under, lifting the knee. Watch the lower back as you step forward, keeping those knees nice and bent, and then inhaling and stepping forward. We're going to go to the other side as you turn your left foot out and rotate the hips with you. Inhaling, nice straight legs as you exhale with the elbows. And then draw those elbows in as you bend into the forward knee and gently lower down, dropping the back knee, flipping over the foot as it were, inhaling and taking the gaze high. Folding back down, tuck the back toe under, and you can move from this position, if you wish, only if you wish, into downward dog, dropping into the knees, and if you wish, coming into kneeling. Really well done. Some of those are quite strong poses. So do go over them again just to get familiar with them. You'll have probably heard that yoga is also about the breath, and we are going to move with the breath now. Really simple stuff. Breathing in, allowing your arms to drift up. And we're going to exhale in pulses. So breathing out through the mouth. And another once at least. Inhaling, breathing out in pulses. And feel free to repeat that. A nice deep breath in, exhaling. Wonderful stuff. You can come into a seated position with your legs facing forward. Tuck your knees under, bend into the knees, and just see if you can tilt yourself back ever so slightly. And maybe you can let your feet drift up. And this is us firing our belly muscles, our tummy muscles up for the next video. Palms together, hands behind the knees if you prefer. So that gives you a little taste of what we've got to come as you cross your legs, and just take a moment to quieten the mind. And whilst you're sitting here focusing on the lovely after effects of your movement, I'm going to read to you from the Bhagavad Gita, which is another early text that highlights the principles and the practices of yoga. And this little quote says, "Free your mind and heart. Abandon the noises of the world. Put aside with no regrets the likes and dislikes in life. Seek solitude. Become detached. Engage your mind in meditation. Seek solitude in meditation." Well done. I'd like you to lie down on your tummies. And we're on our tummies with our legs stretched out behind us and the palms pressing nicely into the ground, near our shoulders with the elbows almost poking up. Now this is a pose or a sequence, a rolling sequence, where you might want to follow my rights and lefts to start with. So you're going to bend into your left knee. So the left foot is now facing the sky, and you're going to roll to your left. So roll to your left, and you come into this nice seated position. Cartwheel your arms all the way back down so that you're rolling onto your tummy again. Bend into your right knee and roll over onto the right side. So once you start to get into the momentum of this, it will become a little easier rather than thinking about it in baby steps. So rolling down, switching legs and rolling over. Keep going. Now, the next time you roll and face up, you might want to introduce this. You might want to bend both knees and lift the hips up so that it starts to become quite a strong practice. Lifting the hips, lifting the chest, straightening the leg. You're rolling over the straight leg, swapping over. Bend into the knee and up you go. Who knew that rolling around was so much fun? Good. Do you want to do an even more challenging version of this? Let me show you next time I come round. Okay, so we're rolling over. And this time, you might want to keep your straight leg straight, but dig it into the ground, and then lift your hips up into the wild thing pose. Back you go, roll over, and repeat on the other side. Lift the hips, point away with the straight leg. And maybe make this your last one and roll back down onto your tummy. How much fun was that? Bend into your knees, lift your hips, and stretch your arms forward and lower the head. On your next inhalation, folks, tuck the elbows in if you need to. Breathing deeply in. Soft exhale. Either rest the palms onto the knees, or you can rest the fingertips by the side of the body. And just occupying this simple space that you find yourself in at 10 to 9 on Thursday, the 16th of April 2020. Practicing yoga, which is perhaps taking on a whole new significance. Following your breath. Acknowledging, as we've been doing more of lately, the simple things in life. The people that are working to care for us. And the simple things that we are noticing in our daily exercise walks, in our front or back gardens. Become these sort of childlike minds again as we discover simple things, and there is something wonderful and refreshing about that. So folks, well done. I know you've been kneeling for a wee while, so release those lower legs and maybe just give your ankles a little bit of a waking up, and I'd like you to get ready for relaxation. Now I said bring a blanket because I was going to do Vikriti Karini lying with our legs up onto a chair. However, we don't have time, but there'll be plenty of time to do that in future classes. But your blanket will come in handy now for Savasana. So I'm going to invite you to lie down. If your lower back, which has done a little bit of work this evening, would like to feel soft and relaxed in Savasana, then move into semi-supine. Take a moment or two to allow your body to settle on the mat, on the carpet. Use your out breath to help you settle where you are. Allowing the body to release into the ground and closing the eyes if that feels okay for you. Having the palms a short distance away from the body, the arms a short distance away from the body, with the palms facing up. Lengthening into the neck by gently drawing in the chin. So we're going to practice Yoga Nidra this evening, which is known as yogic sleep. Just feel the weight of the whole body, accepting the support of the earth. And take your awareness to the right side of your body, all the way down to your right foot. And as I move and guide from point to point, allow your mind to travel on this journey around the body. Starting with the top of the right foot, the sole of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth, and the pinky toe, the ankle and the shin, the calf
the knee, the thigh and the back of the thigh, the right hip, the right waist, the right shoulder, the top of the right arm, the elbow, the lower arm, the wrist, the top of the hand, the palm of the hand, the thumb, first finger, second finger, third finger, little finger. Take your awareness to the left side of the body and the left foot, the top of the foot, the sole of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the little toe, the ankle and the shin, calf and the knee, the thigh and the back of the thigh, the left hip, the left waist, the left shoulder, the top of the arm and the elbow, the forearm and the wrist, the thumb, the first finger, second finger, third finger, and the little finger. Allow your awareness to rest on the abdomen, where the fulcrum of the breath lies, the tummy and the chest. The right collar, the left collar, and the throat, the chin and the mouth. The right cheek, the left cheek, the right eyelid and the left eyelid, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow, the right temple, the left temple, the smooth brow and the eyebrow center, the eyebrow center, the eyebrow center, the smooth brow, top of the head, the crown of the head and beyond. Feel the whole body lying on the floor. The whole body, the whole body, the whole body. And just allow maybe the sound of the birds coming in through my window, as well as the noise from my family who are doing the Strachan's quiz. Just let these sounds wash over you in Savasana, in relaxation. So I'm going to leave you now to perhaps enjoy the sound of the bird song, a sound like a newsreader where you are, because there's still a bit of daylight, and of course nature loves daylight. The birds have their ritual and we can all enjoy it. So I will leave you to lie in relaxation and listen to the sounds around you. Thank you for joining us this evening. It's been a collective thing and I really appreciate it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already, stretch out your arms and your legs, have a yawn, give yourself a hug, thank yourself for coming along to some yoga. And I look forward to seeing you next week in the live classes. Hope you enjoyed this little trip down memory lane. It's a gentle reminder of what we've all been through, all the different phases of lockdown. I think we're quite well illustrated there through our yoga practice that we've shared together. See you all next week, everyone. Very well done. Thank you.